T-Man 978 Chill Review.
Hello everyone, T-Man 978. Right now we're reviewing Fans Toys FT-42 Hunk, who is supposed to be a third-party masterpiece style Autobot Brawn. He is very cartoon accurate, as you can see. Anyway, I got this from Nick the Toy Guy. I never know if I should advertise him or not because the way he works, it's not a for everybody type situation. So at least he gets to hear his name. Anywho, this guy comes with an instruction booklet, collector's card with the bio on there, and 3 accessories. One accessory is this gun right here. Note that it's just a straight, well, there is like a little slide thing right there. So they are listening to us, and they changed the way this system works, at least for this mini-bot. You just slide in his hand. Awesome. You don't have to open the fingers, even though they do open up. The other accessories I'll bring in later. Things to note before I keep going on. His helmet and bright lights like this really sometimes makes it blend in with his face, but trust me, in person, they are 2 different colors. Maybe they should have made that a little bit darker and less chrome, even though his head was chrome on the original G1 toy. This isn't the original G1, it's a reissue, but yeah, you can see it's just plain silver, and he didn't even have a daggone face. I think technically I might be able, you might be able to get his feet to look like this if you wanted to be honest. But yeah, this is what this is looking like. Sometimes when I see those original G1 designs, I'm happy they changed it for the cartoon. And I'm happy that we can get updated figures like this to represent what we see. But besides me talking about that head, the butt is not transformed correctly when you take it out of package. At least mine wasn't. So it pegs in down here, and it pegs in behind his head right here. Basically, just pull this backpack out without unraveling everything yet. And we can lift the leg forward. Bring this out. And this is one annoying thing you have to have. If you don't have a spudger for this guy, you're in trouble. Because these flaps are damn near impossible to get to once they shut. But basically, rotate the legs forward. And these things right here on his back, they need to come up like that. And now we can, with the legs all the way forward, maybe bend that a little bit more. We can shut this and peg that in. Shut this. Peg it in. And now we can bring his legs back down. Bring the crotch skirts back. And shut this. And it'll stay stable. I didn't know that when I first started messing with this. I had it in that original transformation, and I was trying to clip these in, and they would not stay. You could not rotate his waist. And that was another thing. This waist is extremely, extremely tight. You'll have to pull the backpack away and transform it correctly and work with it to get it to loosen up, because holy moly, that was tight. In this situation, this needs to fold in here, and this green thing needs to definitely be in this orientation, or else it won't go in. And this slots under there, and you peg that back on the back. So there you are with that. With all that in order, we can start enjoying this guy. And if you don't have big Autobot labels, you're in trouble again, because he looks completely naked without it. But here you are right here. You can look at Pink for Life and Sony TM Reviews review to see it without the logo on there, because they lazy. But anyhow, see what he looks like. See the detail. The wheels are on the back just like they were in the cartoon. I think in the cartoon these were green. They didn't even per se look like wheels. But most of the screws and whatnot are in the back. There we go. Let's get to this articulation. The arm goes out. The articulation is basic as crap. Bicep only single jointed or single hinge elbow. It bends slightly, the slightest hair, over 90 degrees. Wrist rotation, and the fingers open up like I showed. The head is very difficult to maneuver. It's on a ball joint, but it goes down a little bit and goes up the tiniest of bits. You can rotate that much and turn this way. But now look at this guy. This thing looks like it jumped off the cartoon. That's still the main drawdown. But his head is basically flat. Because of the way this thing, his backpack pegs in, it stops this purposely from rotating. Yeah, I don't think they should have did it like that, but whatever. I showed the waist. The waist can bend like Masterpiece Bumblebee. It bends about there before it starts bumping into the backpack, and you don't really need too much more bend than that. Even though these rock forward, you can't really use them as hip skirts. So he gets like MP10 range right there. And they go back that much. You do get thigh swivel. You do get a knee that bends slightly more than 90 degrees. And the ankle pivot. Yeah. Because of the way it transforms, these are two separate pieces down here. Like, in fact, this whole leg is two separate halves. That's all you're going to get with. If it could bend more than that, it would probably separate these toes that he has. That I know a lot of people don't like that he has toes, but that's the first thing I noticed when I saw the prototype. So I knew what I was getting there. You see this face, it can come off. It comes off, that face comes off a little bit too easy. And now he has this angry, yelling, fighting version. And I like it. I like these two options. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's scared or frightened or whatever like some of them other faces. It definitely looks like he's ready to fight. And I think that's really good. Size comparison time. I haven't heard that in a extremely long time. But yeah. He seemed huge when I put him next to the mini-bots that I have earlier, but when I put him behind Ratchet and Ironhide and, of course, Optimus, he just still seems like a mini-bot. And he's shorter than Prowl, as you can see, and definitely shorter than Warpath over there, who was a little bit taller than Prowl. Out of these, the people I'm pressed the most to replace with some newer figures is these two right here. Like, after I got Bumblebee, he just didn't fit in anymore. He's not cartoon accurate. Windcharger looks really good from X-Transbots, but just the way they made him is just frustrating as heck. I need to review that one day. I didn't review Gears yet either. But before I cut away, doesn't this give you so much nostalgia? Alright, Bad Cube Brawny. You can look at my Bad Cube Brawny chill review. Look it up. So you can hear everything I have to say about this guy. Happy to replace him. He feels like shit compared to this. He kind of felt like that as soon as I got him. I mean, I did get him used, but yeah, I'm pretty sure the person I got it from, which I believe was, it was Matt the Bot Supplier. I'm pretty sure he wasn't on the ground like with this guy, and his condition is not that great still. Holy moly, I'm talking about tight joints over there, but not everything's tight. As you can see, this is far less cartoon accurate. I mean, they have the details, but not the proportions at all. But this has more articulation because the feet can do more. Well, the ankle pivot isn't. No, it can rotate the feet. But the ankle pivot still isn't all that strong. It technically has double jointed knees, but you ain't gonna be able to use it. It has double jointed elbows. And you get some wrist wiggle right there. But as far as build quality We were getting ripped off with these things, let me just tell you that. This thing feels like somewhere between a Voyager class and a deluxe. And yeah, here's a refresher on his face. And the head does turn all the way around and does look completely up. So this thing does have some stronger points, but like I said, more of my opinions on it, go look up my show review. If you want some of this action, this is the best I can do as far as this pose. The arms are, like I said, limited as far as how they go in, and I couldn't get his hands to grip around those little groupie points. Transformation. This will be relatively painless. It's much easier than a typical Fans Toys transformation and way easier than the guy who this stuff belongs to. But first thing I'm gonna do is pull this backpack out the bottom and then out the top and bring this out like that. Now we're gonna mess with this stuff down here. Unpeg this, unpeg that, shift the legs forward to the point where the crotch skirts come out like that. Grab here, bring that up. Grab here, bring that up. Put these things down like this. Put the legs back. Grab these little flaps that are right here. Push them in there. Push it in there. And now here comes that Fans Toys step. The legs need to shift back. That seems simple enough, but I have not had good luck. It does not feel well. So here's what I've been doing. I've been having the joints like that, and then I push down on both of these at the same time. I don't like it. When I was watching Pig for Life, he made it look easy. And here's a problem that I'm having. This face right here, this normal face, keeps falling out. I mean, I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get it out because of you can't lift the chin up high enough to pull at it. But now it just falls out. But anywho, with that like that, I guess we can pull these shoulders out of that right there. Rotate this. And I don't know why they painted this gold. But basically, the arms go back here. They do not peg together. They feel like there should be another step, but there isn't. And damn, this freaking face. Anyhow, rotate this around like that. All right, now we're going to get on these legs. Kind of reminds me of their Warpath. Pull these panels down on both sides. Pull the panels down. And here's the part that makes me think of their Warpath. This little clip thing holds the legs into place. Open that up on both sides. And now we're gonna start with this leg. Or actually, before we do that, rotate this. But here's what we want to do. Make sure the hinge in the hip is turned in such a way that we can push it up once we bend this part of the leg out the way and close this pin back or clip back. With that closed, we can unclip this thing under his foot, leave it like that. That will make the legs separate. And now we can shove this whole thigh up inside of here. You're probably gonna have to readjust this, so don't worry about it. Make sure the legs are straight. You're probably gonna have to readjust this after we're done, but these slide together. And back here, we can detach this toe, unpeg that, make sure this is slid forward, and bring this down, and it clips down right there. A little bit different on this toe. Bring that up. Now there's a sliding bar. You got to unpeg it from the front. Slide it up. Bring it down. Slide that bar up this way and shove that into there. Same stuff over here. Rotate that hip. Make sure the joint is facing away where this doesn't have, and it's kind of annoying because the joint moves with the thigh sometimes, but keep messing with that until it gets into the right orientation. Bend this, close that clip, and we might as well just shove that in there now. Now we can detach this clip from the bottom of the foot, separate the legs, kind of slide that, do the toe situation again. One thing that does remind me of that Unicron is the panels. I mean, all the unfolding. I mean, not a ton of panels, but there's a ton of unfolding and re-maneuvering things. But here we go. Now make sure this is squeezed in as tight as possible right there. But now this guy, you need to lift this up, then kind of bend this into this orientation so that we can rotate this around, and then clip these pegs into here. But make sure this part goes under the windshield. Bring the grill out. Go ahead and grab this stuff, swing it out, grab these panels, it clips in right there. Grab this panel, clips in right here. I have QC person number 31, and now we need to shove this down like that. Bring this down. As you're bringing this down, you're probably going to just flex this a little bit to get it over these shoulders. And stuff is untabbing. Like I said, I'm showing you what needs to happen, but don't worry, because this stuff is coming loose. So basically, after you do that, main thing you want to do is there are like a little slot system right there. This needs to come down, and the front of this needs to groove around that. Groove that around that, and then we can swing this up to grab that. Now back here, basically we need to, the main thing is to get these pegs into this hole back here. So make sure the legs are squeezed in all the way. And that little thing, it doesn't really clip in, but it goes into that slot, as you can see. Squeeze everything. Make sure these pegs right here goes into a slot into this yellow bumper. Make sure that's all the way in there. And now we can rotate this, and there are two little slots right there that grab this. If this is all the way squeezed in, you shouldn't have to worry about this door. I'm gonna give it a good squeeze to make sure everything is in there tight. And before we move on, I'm gonna grab right here, squeeze that, take his gun, and the gun pegs right there for storage. Yay! Now he is whatever you call this vehicle. Pretty sure it's got a name. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to be helpful in the comments. Be helpful, person. And then somebody else is going to be helpful because they don't read the comments, and they're going to keep telling me the same thing. Yay! Don't you like how people work? But the wheels are rubberized, and this is a problem. The first couple times I transformed this thing, I was able to get that to pretty much stay, but it doesn't latch on really good. So prepare to hear all about that. So as long as you squeeze it, I don't know how many times you're going to transform this. I guess I wouldn't blame you for transforming it over and over again, because it is relatively easy for Fans Toys. It does feel good. So here's what you're working with. It's hard to get those arms to stay in the position. Oh yeah, this wheel spins up there. And it's also rubber. These side view mirrors. This one looks kind of bent. From what I can tell, I believe these are die cast. Because when it was colder in here, before I cut the air off, so you can hear me, they were cold. But the only thing I dislike about this is the empty holes. The empty hole is a result of this little clip right there. I guess you're supposed to think these are lights, but they can't paint that because the paint would rub off into there. So it kind of looks weird looking at that. Not kind of, it all the way looks weird. I do like the transparent lights up there. And yeah, I almost totally forgot to show this off, but he does have the drill that he used in maybe 1 or 2 episodes. Probably 1 episode. They did whatever it was needed in certain episodes. Both this and his handgun literally feel like nothing. It feels like a Cheeto. If I couldn't see this in my hand, I wouldn't even know that I was holding it. But it's chrome. It looks like a drill. It has no functionality at all. There you go with that. Here's the comparison to the G1 mold right here. It doesn't have the little engine block thing on the front. But as you can see, there is some type of similarities with that and whatnot. And it even has the little spaces right here, like they have right there. And the yellow bumper. Yeah, that's cool. And here's a more realistic version of an off-road truck type SUV situation. I hated transforming this. If you do go find my review, do not listen to my opinion. I had to go back. I didn't listen to my final thoughts, but I don't like him as much. This is weighty. It's full of die cast. Like I didn't mention it, but this whole block, and even I believe right here is die cast. What else is die cast? I know it has die cast in the feet and it has a big die cast bar in the back. And like I said, at these side view mirrors, this is just light plastic. But here's how they compare right here. And here he is next to X-Transbot's Toro, aka Cliff Jumper. Here he is next to a knockoff Red Alert. Here he is next to my MP10. If you think I'm transforming MP-44 for reviews, you crazy. Here's an Autobot standing up next to him in this truck mode. Oh, there you go. So final thoughts in the car. Rubber tires, heavy, looks like a truck. I like it. Do I need an Autobot logo right there? Probably. All right, final thoughts. Let me try to remember anything that I didn't complain about that I should have complained about. Like, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on camera, and I'm not going to try to zoom in on it. But depending on the lighting, these things right here, they don't match up color-wise as far as the gold. It's a little tiny bit lighter. I think it fixed itself because I've kind of forced it. But when I first opened it, I could not get this little toe to stay plugged in all the way, but it seems to have fixed itself, so I can't complain about that. My main issue as far as quality control, that regular neutral face does not want to stay on. Like, now that I've taken it off to replace it and whatnot, I'm gonna probably have to put something on there to make it thicker, which I don't know if I want to do because I want to be able to remove it easily, but it falls off way too easily. But yeah, at the end of the day, good vehicle mode. I don't have too many complaints about that. It rolls. It looks like what it should look like to me. It feels good. It's heavy. It got rubber wheels. Yeah, that's good. I like the way they re-engineered the gun to just slot into the hand, like, very easily. Like, you can even see the new little groove they gave it. That's good. That's awesome. So they're innovating right there, and you can still even rotate the hand while he's holding the gun. But everything else about him, he looks like what he's supposed to look like, so I'm happy to have him on my shelf. But he's not like mind-blowing when it comes to articulation. He just has bare minimum basic Transformers generations articulation. In fact, some of my Siege figures probably are beating him definitely in the ankle pivot department, and he probably can look up more than some of those figures, but it's just bare minimum basic articulation, which I know probably won't be too much of a problem for most Fans Toys collectors. From what I hear, they just open the things up and put them on the daggone shelf, which is boring AF to me. I like posing my figures, and that's why I collect action figures to this day. But anyhow, it's a good toy. I can't say too much bad about it. It is definitely good. I can recommend it. If you don't have too much of a problem with anything that I showed, I mean, it's stable and sturdy. Ain't nothing riggedy. So you shouldn't have to worry too much. I think you'll be good to go if you like the price, which I can't remember offhand. I think I'd be like, I don't want to say. But yeah, thank y'all for watching this. Until next time, T-Man978 out of here. Click the videos. Click the videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click those videos, baby. Click the videos. You really should.